All right, let's talk about Sam Howell, who, what an interesting start to the year it's been for the, fifth round pick. Although, he was selected in the first overall pick in the fifth round. So barely a fifth rounder, but still a fifth rounder. Only had one start entering the year. Looked really good through 2 weeks, or at least I thought looked like just like a solid quarterback for those 2 weeks for sure. Week 3, we all know it was a disaster. Threw an interception in every quarter against Buffalo, going up against the Eagles defense, coming off a huge win where they dominated Tampa Bay's offense. We're like, okay, not expecting a ton here from Sam Howell, but we got a ton. He looked great, and let's talk about what he did so well, and maybe what do we make of that? Something like this is just absurd. So it's going to be what's essentially going to be a one-on-one matchup on the outside. Watch as when Howell takes a snap, he's going to look up, and you see that there is a wide receiver on the outside here who has kind of the outside leverage in this spot. So many young quarterbacks do not understand this. Plenty of veteran quarterbacks do not understand these types of things, but it's not about necessarily who you hit, but how you hit them. Howell is going to go for a back shoulder here. Also, he has a defensive player right in his face here, so that doesn't make things easier. But watch this throw. I mean, that's just a thing of beauty. Great catch on top of it by Terry McLaurin. Definitely the wide receivers showed up. I mean, it helps when you have those wide receivers. But again, I mean, we saw last year, just because you have wide receivers, you still have to have a quarterback who can get them to football. And Howell did a great job of getting them to football. That's a perfect throw. It just is. Because yes, it's a tough catch, but you have Terry McLaurin. Make him make a tough catch. That's what you should be doing. That's just good stuff from Howell. This plays another one where I think this sort of the Madden angle here is an interesting one to showcase it as it's a cover 2 zone. You're going to have a 82 right there. Receiver's going to run over the middle, kind of try to get in between the two safeties here, but past the linebackers who are going to cover over the middle. Watch as when Howell takes the snap, you're going to see that right here, there's an opening, but it's not wide open. I mean, this is going to have to be a really good throw. And once again, there's pressure in Howell's face, I mean, this is not an easy pocket to make a throw from. But again, watch this throw. I mean, that's a thing of beauty right there from Sam Howell to get it down the field that well while getting hit right on the money. Great stuff from Sam Howell. This is what he was doing against Philadelphia. It was not just him hitting the wide open receivers. Philadelphia did have good defensive plays in this one. Howell had better offensive plays most of the time. This one wasn't great. It was an understandable not great, but I would still put it in the not great category of what's going to happen is really just watch what happens. Howell's going to take the snap. He's going to get ready to throw the football. There's pressure in his face, and kind of one of those on one hand, sometimes if you get hit when you're thrown, kind of is what it is. It's not your fault. At this point, though, pressure coming right in your face right here. Feels like he's still making the decision to throw while he's getting hit. And again, like I said, it had been working out. He had been throwing one, there's pressure and doing a pretty decent job of it. Not this time, though. As you see, gets hit up. The ball just, floats up there. Should have been an interception. Completely got away with one there. Again, it's not quite as simple as some other should-be interceptions where you make the wrong read or miss the throw or something. A unique scenario, but still something you got to kind of learn a little bit. Or maybe it's just a fluky play. I don't know. I'll let you be the judge. But again, talk about everything. Talk about the positives. Talk about the negatives. So that was one of the negative plays, even if it didn't end up hurting them. This play was great too. So it's a 3rd down and 2 situation. And so, okay, just want to be able to make sure that you can pick up a couple of yards. Howell's going to look down the field and, for one thing, really good blocking on this play. I mean, that's something we looked at as a mismatch for Philadelphia, but there were definitely times when the pass blocking really showed up. This is one of those examples, but it's about to run out of time, right? You've done your job at this point, pass blocking. You're, past the, nearing the 3, but you're at 3 1/3 second at this point. So, good pass protection. This is what you like to see if you're a Washington fan. But what you don't love to see is what Sam Howell is looking at, which is no one really getting open in a way Howell wants to see have happen. So Howell's going to get outside the pocket. Again, that was a good job by the right tackle to get the edge rusher out of position. Now containment had been given up. Howell's able to get outside the pocket. So that definitely helps. But still, looks like he's trying to run with the football. Not really an opportunity. And while there is a player who, is down the field that he could throw to, that player isn't really open. However, the Eagles player who's kind of right in front of him, he's playing Sam Howell, and Sam Howell notices this. The Eagles defender moves in, Howell throws over the top of him, and they pick up a first down on a play that should not have been a first down. So again, we can sit here and talk about all the receivers that Washington has, and they do have receivers, but he's legitimately making plays. Like, his playmaking ability is for real, and it was something that was for real at the college level, and it's for real now. And if he can do this today, he'll be able to do this next week, and he'll be able to do this next year, right? This is just something that's going to be a part of his game in a very positive way. And also something like this, where this is a huge play. So Washington, who, back and forth game, they now find themselves down 7 points with 2 seconds left. So legitimately, if you don't convert here, the football game is over. You lose, and that's it. It's a good performance and a loss. You don't want to have that happen. Has a receiver going to be running a route closer towards the sideline. You see Howell's going to take the snap, doesn't hesitate, throws right away. There's a window, but not a wide open one. And, for one thing, I do love the lack of hesitation from Howell. Another thing you see a lot of young quarterbacks do is in the big spots, kind of tighten up a little bit. Don't make the throw right away when they should have. Howell not making that mistake. Makes the throw right away. And again, perfectly accurate. Defender can't quite get there, and they're able to get that touchdown. And then they went for 2 and 1. So it was a good job by them. No, they unfortunately did not go for 2. They should have, in my opinion. I think that you're over a touchdown underdogs on the road in this scenario. I've always been kind of a believer in, people like to talk about it as if it's an analytics decision. It actually isn't. Most analytics say it's actually a toss-up if you should go for 2 in this spot or if you should kick the extra point. So it's really just game situation. That's how you should view it. And for me, I think in this situation, momentum's on your side if you care about momentum. The crowd's not going to be as into it as they would have been in other scenarios. They'll still be into it. It's one play to win the game. And of course, this is, Philadelphia crowd. And also, it's just like, I trust Sam Howell in this moment to get one play versus them to now kind of do a complete reset, go to overtime where it's anyone's game. And you have to, again, beat a really good football team straight up in overtime. That's just difficult to do. So for Sam Howell, great performance. I guess the one thing nice about the fact that Ron Rivera decided to kick the extra point as opposed to going for 2 is we don't have a sour taste in our mouths. Whereas, if Sam Howell screwed up the 2-point conversion, then we would have said, oh, it was a great performance, but he didn't get it done at the end. Now he did get it done at the end, so I guess you have that going for you. But as a whole, you're trying to win football games, not just trying to make Sam Howell look good. And Sam Howell's doing a good job of making himself look good in general. Again, unfortunate because his overall stats are very skewed with the Bills game. He currently, has a passer rating of just 81.5, 4 touchdown to 5 interception ratio. But if you take out that Bills game, which isn't fully fair, but if you do, the numbers look way better. And, to me, that's probably I don't know if I would say it's a fully accurate thing. Just a weird situation where a guy early on in his career has pretty much looked really good in every game except for one where he looked absolutely terrible. So I'm going to assume the bigger sample size is the correct one, and he's a pretty good player. But, who knows how we see him. Just an interesting guy to see look going forward. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Sam Howell. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.